lot of Puerto Ricans were there to build this thing they call hip-hop. And one of the most important crews, besides Zulu Nation, was the Bronx Boys.
TBB, TBG, the Bronx Boys, the Bronx Girls rocking crew. It's a rocking crew, started as a graffiti or writing crew, turned into this dance crew, went with the whole dance phenomena of the 70s and 80s, which we today refer to ourselves as b-boying, b-girling, or rocking. But the world, unfortunately, calls it breakdance.
TBB, upon its inception, was an expressive group of males that wanted to express via the art of aerosol art or tagging. We call it graffiti now.
With writing, it was one of the first things in hip-hop.
Graffiti helped a lot of kids go a different route in a more positive way. And other guys that showed each other was already 10 or 11, showing 9 and 8-year-olds how to do this. And it started little by little with markers and everything, and it advanced to the spray paint.
The vibrant colors, you could totally see it in the murals outside in the streets. You know, when I see a mural that has some sort of influence within the culture, I'm like, wow, that kind of reminds me of those beautiful, vibrant, neon color buildings in Puerto Rico I see with, you know, the blues and the greens and pinks. It just stands out.
You know, the founders, this guy named Cash, he was a graffiti writer, and Shark. And Batch, which he used to write Bat1, B-A-T-1. Batch wanted to get into the dance. He started getting into the dance more, and he wanted to incorporate that in TBB. Batch took it from there on into more of a dance and a rocking crew.
75, it became a b-boy crew. The expression changed from art to the dance.
Well, back then it was totally different because it was a style that came about in a time where, you know, it wasn't even really accepted. The music style wasn't accepted. The clothing that people wear and how they wore it wasn't really accepted. The expression of dance wasn't accepted. The graffiti, everything that we did wasn't really accepted. So it was really difficult back then, you know, and they didn't even realize, you know, that we was a rocking crew, a Boricua rocking crew at that. You know, it was more of a gang to everyone else because they didn't understand. Ignorance deterred them from actually understanding who we were.
When we grew up, people were scared to see us dance. Cops were arresting us.
What we would call like rumbling against other crews, whether it was Lower East Side Manhattan or Brooklyn. Instead of gang fighting, we did gang breakdancing, and we just expressed ourselves through our dance.
What we was doing because we took it as another vice, not to fight each other.
Without TBB, a lot of those cats would have been robbing somebody, stealing something, shooting somebody, or doing drugs or something like that, which was very prevalent in the early 70s. And actually, to be honest with you, we lost some people because of things like that. But, you know, again, those kind of things, you know, can be prevented if you have the proper outlet. And, you know, TBB is the outlet as a rocking crew for many.
Most people say a b-boy is a boy that breaks and does, you know, breaking. But b-boy originated from being a boogie boy from the Bronx.
A b-boy and a b-girl is a dancer, basically, who's not afraid to, like, get down on the floor and just express themselves through the break of a song. They're fearless. They're not afraid to go to extremes, to do a crazy move, to stand up from the crowd and express themselves, to do whatever it takes to be amazing in that moment in time.
We moved as a b-boy the way the letters move in a graffiti piece.
It's when they're having that special connection between themselves and the DJ. It's like they're talking to each other, but with a scratch or a certain type of spin or power move.
And we have a dialogue the same way the dancers in Bomba have a dialogue with the drummer. We have our dialogue with the DJ and our dialogue with the crowd.
In a b-boy, b-girl's position, it's when they're just so happy in the moment of the music of that song and that very instant of the floor going crazy and whatnot.
True articulation of the dance is on the floor because it's floor rocking and rocking on top, which what we call top rock. It's a dance. It's not acrobatics. It's not Cirque du Soleil. It's not a sport. It's a dance. but it's treated like a martial arts because you have to be dedicated, you have to live a lifestyle. The lifestyle for a b-boy or b-girl is training to get the next move, you know, not necessarily a trick, but the next expression of your body.
And all you see is his movements, his feeling that he's really into and he's been practicing. You know, he's been taking the time out. And that's what makes another b-boy respect another b-boy, because you take time out to master your craft. You don't just come once in a blue moon and just flop. You know, you're trying to show everything with definition.
We have our own unique style of DJing, MCing, dancing, b-boying, rocking. Different people, different culture, and you take from your background. So the things we learned from our grandparents and our parents, the dancing, the salsa, the mambo, you know, we incorporated that in our dance. Some words that we did that we were rocking, we call it salsa rocking.
By the time the young Boricua kids started doing it, and other Latinos, we brought our hip movements in there that we were doing in the Latin dance movements. You know, the Latin jazz, the machito, and the fania. That was going on at the same time that hip-hop was going on. So, of course, you're going to have a little bit of that influence. We brought in our own style of clothing, too, and our own style of conversation into the whole hip-hop dialogue. This is way before El General and Vico C. You had a little bit of Spanish influence into the MCing and into the DJing, but no one did it as like, I'm the Puerto Rican b-boy, I'm the Puerto Rican DJ. They just did it as, I'm a b-boy, I'm a DJ.
The music, most importantly, is the music, from bomba y plena through boogaloo, through Latin, funk, and salsa and stuff like that. And when you hear hip-hop, you hear some influences of like, wow, that beat, that sounds like a bomba plena beat, or oh, that's like a boogaloo, that sounds like Ray Barretto, oh, I like that. Especially when the b-boys and b-girls, when they get down, they listen to that beat, they listen to that break, and boom, there goes the congas.
Because a lot of the people who were in the early years were not only from Puerto Rico, but from all of the Caribbean islands. So you had those sounds, those drum patterns. And even the lifestyle, you know, in Jamaica they had the big speakers and everything, and in Puerto Rico you got chicken fights and you got a whole bunch of different things. That energy comes into it. You know, the domino playing with the kapiku, that same energy, you can see it in a b-boy. If you walk around the Bronx, even today, you see how Boricuas interact. You're gonna see how a b-boy may move a certain way. A lot of the most noteworthy graffiti writers are all Boricua to this day. Call me biased, but most of the hip-hop legends are all Boricua, still. A lot of people gotta understand, you know, b-boying and b-girling, it started out as a black thing, because hip-hop started out as a black thing. It's of the African diaspora. But we definitely have our place in this because it's just an extension of our culture, literally, you know.
You have African Americans that are break dancers, but we were mainly poppers and lockers. The Puerto Ricans took the up rock style, which what we were doing also, and made it their own, using a salsa and everything, and gang fighting into it. You know, so I would say that they have a big influence in break dancing.
Well, because hip-hop is known primarily as an African-American art form, but it's not an art form at all, it's a culture. And it's not an African-American culture to me, it's an expressive culture that was developed by South Bronx inner city youth. It wasn't so much a color thing as it was a class thing.
Being a TBB member, we do our best to change our community. We try to find out what our community needs.
Right now, you know, a lot of these brothers that come, and sisters, actually, let me not forget the women, that come from literally all over the world are our sisters, man, through TBG, Global Family. You know, we embrace them and accept them, and we use the arts, everything that we grew up with back then, to help them stay out of trouble, man.
And now, TBB is a vehicle for social and cultural change. We try to initiate this throughout our communities and globally via the many chapters where we have.